The White House ramping up efforts to take out terrorists overseas. The CIA recently reporting drone attacks in South Asia and the Middle East have successfully taken out key players, including the head of the Taliban in Pakistan and other most wanted terrorists. But our next guest says the White House is actually killing too many bad guys before the U.S. can interrogate them and ultimately putting us at risk. Mark Thiessen is the former speechwriter to President W. Bush and author of Courting Disaster: How the CIA Kept America Safe and How Barack Obama is Inviting the Next Attack. Thank you so much, Mark, for talking to us. You say the drone attacks, let me just get this straight here, are being used as a substitute for bringing in terror suspects alive for questioning, and that killing people, especially killing senior al-Qaeda leaders, is actually potentially counterproductive? Explain.
Absolutely. Listen, the drone is a very important tool in the war on terror. It helps you attack, hit them in remote regions where you can't necessarily send special operations forces, or when you have perishable intelligence. But we in the Bush administration, we tried to capture these people alive and bring them in for questioning. And the Obama administration has eliminated our capability to capture, detain, and effectively detain terrorist leaders. And just this morning on the front page of the Washington Post, there's a story about how they've decimated this capability. And they talk about a senior al-Qaeda leader from East Africa, where they tracked him down in September, and the White House was given the choice: do you want to kill him or do you want to capture him? And they said, kill him. And quoting from the Washington Post, quote, "The opportunity to interrogate one of the most wanted U.S. terrorism targets was gone forever." And a senior military official explained that the reason they'd made that decision was because we don't have a program or a place to detain these people anymore. So we are in grave danger because we're not getting the intelligence we need from these people to stop terrorist attacks.
And so you think the increased use of drone attacks on terror targets is actually putting us at risk here?
Well, it's not so much the increased use of drone attacks, because sometimes you want to kill them with drones. What is putting us at risk is the fact that we're no longer capturing and detaining and interrogating terrorists. In my book, Courting Disaster, I interviewed Mike Hayden, the former director of CIA. And one of the things he explained is that intelligence is like putting together a puzzle. And you have thousands of pieces laid out, and you have to connect them. But you're not allowed to look at the picture on the cover of the box. The only way you can get the picture on the cover of the box is to capture the senior leaders, the Khalid Sheikh Mohammeds, the Abu Zubaidas, the leaders of al-Qaeda, who know what the picture on the cover of the box looks like. And so this is why we're in trouble right now, is because on Christmas Day, we didn't see the picture on the cover of the box. We didn't know that al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula was going to hit us here at home, and they almost killed thousands of people in our midst.
Capture the terrorists, interrogate the terrorists, then incarcerate the terrorists, and then fly them back to Yemen and close Gitmo. I mean, you see where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
So great. So we interrogate them and then we release them back into al-Qaeda cells. So, I mean, I'm just trying to argue the other point, to be fair here, that many would argue that perhaps we'd rather see these terrorists dead, because if we let them stay alive and we interrogate them, they're just going to end up killing more Americans in the end.
Well, the solution is, one, capture them, and then two, interrogate them, and three, don't release them back to Yemen. I mean, we need to get these people in order to get the intelligence we need to stop terrorist attacks. Yeah. The CIA program, we had about 100 terrorists. We stopped attacks in our consulate in Karachi, our Marine camp in Djibouti, a plan to fly airplanes into Heathrow Airport in downtown London, and a plot to fly an airplane into the Library Tower in Los Angeles. None of these plots would have been stopped, and these cells would have been wrapped up without the interrogation of senior terrorist leaders. So we are at risk because we do not have this capability anymore.
I'll tell you what is putting Americans and the U.S. at risk is the way that the government handled the day that we were almost attacked on U.S. soil. The Justice Department's decision to try the suspect in a civilian court, not a military one. The FBI's decision to end the questioning of the suspect, Umar Farouk Abdul-Muttalib, after less than an hour, and then read him as Miranda rights, like a common criminal, not a war criminal. Then Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano saying the system worked because passengers on the plane jumped on Abdul-Muttalib. These are the examples as to why people would accuse the president of being soft on terror. So, do you not believe that Americans would feel safer if, rather than talking with terrorists, we kill them?
No, I think it's the opposite. I think you analyzed it exactly right. We are not capturing these people abroad anymore. And then when one of them falls into our lap like manna from heaven, this guy had information on who trained next to him, who deployed him, who recruited him, what were the cell phone numbers, where were the training camps, where were the safe houses. Information we couldn't get anywhere else. And we read him his rights and sent him and told him he had the right to remain silent and let him sit silent for 5 weeks. We should be interrogating this guy without reading him his rights in as a military, as an enemy combatant, and we should be going out and capturing the terrorist leaders who can tell us where the next attack is, so next time we stop the guy before he gets on the plane, not just because his bomb didn't work.
Okay, just playing devil's advocate here, something tells me that had we captured Osama bin Laden and talked to him, I'm not sure that would have made that big of a difference on 9/11.
Well, if we had been able to capture Khalid Sheikh Mohammed before 9/11, it would have made a huge difference. And we captured him after 9/11, and we got him to tell us his plans for new attacks that were follow-on attacks. They had follow-on attacks planned. They had cells deployed. They were using Southeast Asian terrorists because they knew we'd be on the lookout for Arab terrorists. We didn't even know after 9/11 that Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was the mastermind of 9/11, or that he had other plans for terrorist attacks. We just assumed that was the case. It was only after we captured him and interrogated him using enhanced interrogation techniques that we got this information and stopped a series of terrorist attacks he had set in motion. Without this capability, America will be very likely attacked again.
Mark Thiessen, thank you very much, former speechwriter to President W. Bush. Thank you very much. Also author of Courting Disaster, How the CIA Kept America Safe and How Barack Obama is Inviting the Next Attack. Just wanted to give you a second plug on your book there. Thank you very much for coming on.
All right.
Great.
Just a reminder, check the calendar, April 15th.